arrays. And first off, there is some starter code here. It's a project link in Replit. And I think how we set it up, it has a couple dependencies. If you fork this specific code, you should be able to upload your own image and then kind of make it black and white. So if it works for me for sure. When you log in, maybe I will. You should be able to click fork at the top, I think. Right. So on the right-hand side, it says invite for me. Turns out there's multiplayer mode for Replit, and I experimented with that a bit. For you, the invite button should be fork. That's what you click, and then you'll create a copy. What's important here is that I selected a couple packages, pil.-compat. That's what helps us with some image processing. So we're borrowing some functions from this specific library, which lets us more easily manipulate images. So please click fork, and then when you click run, your program will run, and then it should generate, or it installs a bunch of things. That might take a while, okay? But your goal is like, okay, I had this original image, notice it's in color, right? And the function that's called turns it into black and white like this. Okay, this was a letter of recommendation I wrote for one of my seniors. So when you see the little arrow appear back on the right-hand side, that's how you know everything's done. You click run, and this is another picture, right? It's like a background thingy, sky 2 or sky. If you go back to your code, you click on main.py at the left-hand side. If you uncomment the image input and output and put back in sky, that's how you know your code is going to be working. So roughly lines 28 and 29, uncomment those and then comment line 30 and 31. And after it's done installing all its packages, I think you run that once each time. It doesn't need to reinstall it every single time you press run. You will see something pop up over here, sky dot, or output 2 is going to become that sky image. So it might take a while. We'll see. Yeah, it's still running. And so when we go here, right, it's still output 2 is still the old image. My code is still running. We wait. So you're looking for the arrow over here to reappear. That's how you know it's done processing that image. That is if I did everything correctly. Right, and the name is still going to be output2.png. Come on. No? Maybe? Not yet. So I think sky.jpg is like a larger file compared to my PNG file. Mind the file size. It may take longer because on this picture, you can tell there's higher resolution, so it takes longer for it to process. Did it work? Did it work? Okay, so yeah, as you wait, right, you definitely want to see those two things on there. If you delete your output to, okay, so it looks like mine ran. So there's your original image. You see my arrows came back on the right-hand side of the console. If I click on output 2, you see that same image, but now it's black and white, okay? That's how you know your program's working. So definitely make sure those first two steps work, because otherwise your assignments, you're not going to be able to see your outputs. Okay? So let's say you want to upload another image, right? And you want to process this. I'm giving you some code that handles like the, handles some of the annoying things. Let me find an appropriate image from my desktop. Let's see. All right, the turtle national flag from the Bahamas. So in Replit, you can drag and drop things. I don't know how it works on Chromebooks, but here is a flag from one of the people in this class, right? Okay. And then, for the sake of ease of typing in, maybe you just want to call this turtle flag. Try not to have spaces inside because you have to like escape them. Turtle flag. So drag and drop that in. Go back to main.py. And then, roughly around 28 and 29, since you're opening and manipulating a different image, these are the lines you'll have to modify. I think it should work with all file formats for images, like PNG, GIF, whatever, and all those other different ones. So be sure you change the names here, turtle flag.png, and then over here, turtle flag.png. I think it's a smaller one, so it shouldn't take as long as the sky image. And if you want to change the output down here, you call this BW flag, or black and white. So you run. The first time you click it, it may take a little while because it has to install some packages. Notice that was less than a couple seconds. Notice over here on the left-hand window, you see bwflag.png, and there it is in black and white. Not much is going on there, because, yeah. Okay. And the heart of this assignment is, again, this loop within a loop right here. You're manipulating column and rows. So most of your code uses this idea. Think about, like, in this sky image, you go through pixel by pixel, and then you selectively modify the pixel color based on some requirements. So this is what I hopefully want to demo for you. Let's create something more interesting. Where's my Piazza thing? I think this is the correct laptop. Okay, so this image you recognize, I think, right? My Piazza, it's my profile picture from my classroom, right? This picture right here, this thing. So in JavaScript, I made this a while ago. If you upload it, and then it should make me in the Obama colors. So that's like some kind of shading of red, white, and blue in that ways. Yeah. Let's see if it works. So although it's in JavaScript, we can borrow these same ideas to try and... I don't know if this one works. I think it does. Piazza. No? Alright, so maybe that one doesn't work. But what I'm going to borrow from this code is down here. Notice the Obama color scheme. It has certain if statements, and we map them to other values. Okay, so this stuff right here, I don't think it's a grayscale. Yeah, so these certain things, based on the averages of your RG and B values, you're going to map it to different things. So my demo over here, this is going to be our Obama function. Right, and then some multi-line quotation marks. And so that's the stuff we need to translate into what's going on in this Python code. So notice right now, the main function that's happening in turtle.flag or sky, it's turning and applying isLight right here. So that's the main coding parts. If the picture has like a certain light variation, if it's above this certain threshold and this part's true, then you make it white. Otherwise, you turn it black. So that's how it's processing it. How is it processing? Let's dive into the isLight function. And it has some new ideas from Python being processed called a tuple. That's how color is represented. That's the R, G, and B values, red, green, and blue pixel intensities. So there's a little bit of new stuff there. So as we go up, notice in the isLight function, it takes in a pixel, which is this tuple. Okay, tuple, you can approach it just like a list. It's 3 numbers representing red, green, and blue. So as you go here, notice the syntax for a tuple. It's just like an array. Use square brackets. The first one is 0. The second one is 1. The third one is 2. Right? So we access each of those things, we average it, and then we do something special based on those numbers. So that's the same thing that's going to happen here. As we begin to translate this stuff into JavaScript, where's my header? Okay, so our Obama function, right? Right here, def Obama. And just like before, you take... And then instead of doing average, we're calling it gray value. So that's your average of your 3 your red, your green, and your blue intensities. Based on that, you have a different if statement now. we have to translate it into Python. So there's a colon over here. And then the hard part is, okay, this code down here has to change a bit, right? Because in JavaScript, it was using a different library that sets individual pixels as such. We don't have that just yet. So these lines of codes have yet to be changed. So the idea is that once your average is between these certain values, it's a different intensity or different brightness, and that's how you map it into its like red, white, and like peachy variants. And you can look up other color schemes to translate. Okay. So then over here, right, image.output put pixel. So for us, that's the equivalent of our like set green, set red, and set blue. So it looks like we're just going to borrow this thing, image.output. Sorry, I got to think a little bit. Okay, so we use put pixel instead. So then in here, it looks like we have the original picture or image. Okay, and then here we paste this in. It's not image output. It is now original underscore image, put pixel, row and column. Ooh, darn it. Okay, think. All right, so think. I don't know if we're okay. Yeah, we gotta give it a row and a column too. And then for here, these values are the ones that go into there. Then we can delete this stuff. And then we'll provide a similar mapping for the following 4 or 3 else statements. So now this is 1, 1, 2. This one is 158. This one is, oopsies, 150, 158. So these lines will go away. Down here, a bit more copy and pasting. Mind the indentation. 217, 26, 33. JavaScript can go away now. And then otherwise, you become 0, you become 51, and then 76. Alright, so if I did everything right, I can uncomment this, and now I can call the Obama function in here. Right? If light is not going to be called anymore, we can comment out these respective lines. And then here, we can call Obama. We need the name. So else if in Python looks like this, elif, right? So careful. And then we take in a pixel. Image. All right, image input, square bracket row, square bracket column, comma, image underscore output, comma, row, comma, column, row. Okay, I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4 things. And if I did that all correctly, we should be able to manipulate the given images to have an Obama color scheme. Let's double check. I think my indentation is off. Better? Okay, let's see. So now this is going to be obama.png. Let's modify not turtle and flag and sky. Let's try to do instead the bount image because it doesn't take that long. And let's see what happens. Okay, that looks hopeful. So there's one, right? That's my original image, and now Obama.png came out, and you kind of see it, right? The Obama thingy. So your assignment is then add on to this code to get 2 out of 4. So it's similar kind of mapping, right? Instead of doing like the black and white, it's like the contrast, right? I guess that's one way. It's kind of flipped. So follow through that. You're guaranteed 2 out of 4 points. You can follow the pattern that is given to you in the Obama code. I think I forked it. Oh, okay. So I modified the base code. I forgot to create a fork myself. So now you have the Obama function if you want to fork that again because it's saved. You can add on to that, or you can follow the example here in isLight to modify that to give true and false values so that you get these respective things. I recommend starting 1 through 8. 9 through 11 is a bit harder, but I think a lot of you will be able to accomplish that, and that's your assignment that's due Friday. Okay, so if you choose 2 of them, like these easier ones with the colors, then you're fine. You get 4 out of 4. Horizontally flipping is, I think, a little bit harder, but I think it's a good challenge to have, and it just reviews 2D arrays. Questions? No?
You can do your own image, right?
Yes, you can put in any image you want. All right, so that's your assignment. Please